Okay, one thing that comes up from time to time when users first begin working with Flash in their rapid e-learning courses is really just trying to get an understanding around the Flash stage and specifically how it handles layers and transparency, right? So when you create a new document in Flash, you get a white background by default, and then say you arrange your composition, you're putting your images and your text elements on your stage, and then at some point, you might even change the background color, right? So the background color by default's white, and you sample an image in there. Everything looks great. You might even just verify it by clicking Control Return. Looks great, right? You could publish that SWF right now, and it's going to preview and display just as you have it, right? So click Shift F12, jump back over to PowerPoint, and you insert your movie, right? There we go. So you get the preview, right? The default preview. Everything looks great right there. You make whatever modifications to the options. You click OK, and again, it looks great in PowerPoint. Everything looks the way it needs to. It's not until we publish it that we get this. What happened, right? So what happened is your objects that you inserted in Flash are the only opaque objects. Everything else is really a transparent background in Flash. So that layer, that colored layer that you inserted in Flash, Flash knows that it's colored. So when you're publishing within Flash, it knows to keep that as a green background. But when you bring Flash into other programs, not just PowerPoint, really anything, this is essentially all transparent. And one way that's easy to kind of think about it is, I like to do this, just brought in a checkered background from Photoshop, and this is really what your Flash canvas looks like. So it doesn't show this, right, but anyone that's worked in a graphics program knows, right, these checkered, this gray and white checker is a transparent background. There's no solid fill, there's no texture or pattern for the background. So really this is what Flash looks like to other programs. So you have your text, you have your image, these are all great, but that colored background that you created right here doesn't really exist outside of Flash. So how do you get that? How do you control that when you're working with other programs like PowerPoint for e-learning? Well, a couple ways. The simple way, right, in Flash, you could, at the Flash level, insert a new layer, right, and just call this, colored background. Drag it to the bottom layer, and, sample a color and draw out a shape, right? So that shape is now a solid graphic, and when you publish this file, it'll work in Flash. Or if you come back to PowerPoint, I'm just going to move that off stage a little bit. You could insert at the graphic, at the slide level, another graphic. So if I insert, say, a shape and bring it in, whatever, doesn't really matter what color we use, but for this point, just do that. You could make that your solid color for the background, and that will still work. But I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm just going to leave that shape right there because that shape is a solid graphic in PowerPoint, but this is still that transparent background. So we're seeing the green, but really this doesn't exist in PowerPoint. Now if I publish this, let me just show you this real quick. So this is really what it would look like. So you can see that, just that sort of that smaller rectangle shape that I drew. But again, the rest of this is all transparent. So that's another way to do it at the slide level, would be to create a shape the size of your slide. Now, you may not want to do that for your entire course level, right? Because you might have a bunch of slides and you don't want to have to put it in there. In which case, then you could just go to your slide master, right? So View, Slide Master. Go up here, insert either a solid filled graphic or shape or even a textured background, and that would apply to all the slides. So just a couple things to think about. It's not a big deal, but it's something that happens, and some troubleshooting is involved, and how do you get back to filling that background. So you can do it in Flash, and that's not a bad way to do it. And you can also work within a PowerPoint to change your slide levels that way. So just a couple things to think about with regards to working between Flash and PowerPoint. But really, the best thing, if you just remember one thing, just remember that Flash really treats your stage as a transparent background when you're bringing it into other applications.